So in Arizona, we can cite release on misdemeanors. Citation in lieu of arrest is a lot of times what it's been referred to as.
Correct. That's old school talk. Yep.
So I have a lot of search and seizure instructors teaching that we cannot search a suspect who we have arrested on misdemeanor instant to arrest. Now, sometimes not a big deal if it's a quick in and out situation, but in some situations it results in like a DUI where we're together for hours getting blood draws and all that kind of stuff. I've read the case law, and to my understanding, unless I'm missing something, most of the elements involved in the search incident to arrest surround the involvement or the amount of time spent with the subject and the ability of them to present a hazard to the officer. With that in mind, I think that a DUI where we are with the person for a long period of time, a search incident to arrest would likely apply based on the underlying elements. But it's also my understanding that the case law does not necessarily and never has specifically addressed citation in lieu of arrest or cite and release. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, I'm going to let's let Zach. Did you hear that loud and clear?
Yeah, I did. So Clint, that's an arrest. When you take someone into custody for a DUI, for a blood draw or a breath test, that's an arrest. An arrest for constitutional purposes is simply the involuntary movement of a person from one location to another. You're taking them into custody. That is what justifies the search incident to arrest, not formal booking, formal charging. Like if you later on cite them and release them from the precinct or from the hospital, that's still an arrest in the constitutional sense of the word. Where you can't do a search incident arrest, or at least you don't have the categorical authority, is when you cite them in the field, like, a field stop, and you write them a ticket and you just release them like on the traffic stop or something like that. But what you're describing, those are arrests for Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, aren't you transporting them somewhere, Clint?
So actually in Arizona, we have incredibly lenient phlebotomy rules, and our officers are trained as phlebotomists. So a lot of times we can draw blood and site release in the field. So we can actually release them, but it still technically usually results in an hour or two of involvement with the suspect.
Yeah.
That's
So
an arrest.
who's taking the blood? You're taking the blood?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so look, Zach, don't you still think this
That's
is
still an arrest. That's because
Still
it's
an
either an
arrest.
arrest or a Terry stop. It can only be one of the two. It's not a Terry stop. You can't Terry stop somebody for 2 hours.
That's right. And also you still have the reasons why we do search incident arrest. It's for weapons, means of escape, and for evidence, right? So to say the least, you're in this person's close quarters for a significant amount of time. Do you think it's reasonable to make sure that this person has no weapons on them so they don't hurt themselves or officers, right? And while this investigation is while you're gathering your evidence, would you agree with that?
Absolutely, and that's been my argument for a long time. But I'm kind of up against the search and seizure instructor on this topic.
It ain't no blue to gold instructor, I can tell you that. Well, it'd be funny if he's like, yeah, it is.
Yeah. We do it, John.
No, look, they can watch this video on YouTube, but look at it from the court's point of view. This is just like Zach said, this is not a Terry stop, right? This is, to say the least, whatever you want to call it, it's a de facto arrest. Like, it is an arrest. In fact, like, you're seizing this person for a significant amount of time, and you're also taking blood from them. I mean, you don't do that in Terry stops.
Hey, Clint, like, do you do it literally out on the trunk of the car, or do you have a wagon thing that, like, you move them to and go inside like a sterile environment?
Well, that probably wouldn't. You're talking about for transportation?
No, I'm saying, do they take you just over here and bring you inside this thing?
I think it is. I think it's on scene, right?
Yeah, that'd be correct. So we sanitize the entire plastic interior. It's I mean, really more sanitary than a hospital, really. But nonetheless, we do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, look. So look, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, this is an arrest, right? Constitutionally, under the Fourth Amendment, you are highly intrusive activity here. You're seizing this person for a very relatively long period of time, hour or so. You're putting a needle in their arm, with or without a warrant. You're getting warrants too, I guess, if they say no. So, right?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. So you're potentially even getting a warrant. Like, this is arrest type behavior. This is not what Zach was saying, Terry versus Ohio, where you're detaining people temporarily and you diligently pursue investigations to try to figure out if they even committed a crime. This is, this is not a cite and release. It is, I get that at the end of the day it is, that's what's gonna result in, but this is a quasi arrest. Therefore, it allows the Chimmel and all these other justifications, the Robinson, to like make sure that everybody's safe out there. And it's not just for your safety, by the way, it's for theirs. Because if they start pulling out knives and guns or whatever, then they get hurt too. You know what I mean? So it's for everybody's safety. I think the answer is that this is a constitutionally an arrest.
Thank you very much.
When it
I
comes to
really
Chimmel.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, see you.